Welcome, ladies. In today's video, I'm going to get personal with you about my own infertility journey, struggle, whatever you want to call it. We label it in so many different ways. Regardless of the labels, I want to shed those all away in today's video and share with you a few steps that I used in my own life and in the lives of hundreds of my patients to help them manage their infertility naturally, to turn things around, and to help them conceive if that's their wish. Stay tuned for today's informative and very personal video. Welcome, ladies. I'm Dr. Melissa Gallagher. I'm really excited to invite you into my personal journey. Today, we're talking about infertility, and this is a topic that there are a lot of taboos associated with infertility and a lot of social kind of things that we don't want to talk about. And so I just really want to kind of share with you in this particular video my personal endeavors and experiences with infertility. I've actually had 2 times in my life where I have been told by an OBGYN, a medical provider, the end all and be all God of the medical world when it comes to fertility, tell me that there would be no way in hell that I would actually be able to conceive. And if you are a new viewer, I have a toddler that is running around and keeping me literally on my toes and giving me gray hairs. But for all you viewers who are returning, you know, you've seen Gabriel. And that infertility struggle, stigma, whatever, was something that was really hard to get away from. And so I want to share with you just a few things that I've done in terms of managing my infertility. So I'm going to have 2 sides to the story. The first side, in my early 20s, I had several kind of things happening all at once. I had Epstein-Barr virus, full-blown mono, and EBV2, which is the more aggressive form of Epstein-Barr. That viral immunocompromised state, I actually was at my lowest weight ever. I think I was as low as 109 pounds or 108 pounds at some point. I'm 5'8", and I was literally like skin and bones and exhausted and not cycling well. I was somewhat cycling, and when I was not ovulating. And I also had a whole bunch of issues that I was dealing with from having traveled internationally. And so I had parasite cleanses that I was doing, liver detoxing, and trying to manage my stress, my cortisol. And those were all factors that were at play that were plaguing my body. Now, in my early 20s, I was not in a relationship that was committed and long-term, that was going to be a marriage kind of outcome. And so fertility for me was not about conceiving, but it was about maintaining healthy hormone balance. And that's a big thing. When we're dealing with infertility, it's not always about like our total desire to have a child. It's really about preserving our hormone health and actually trying to be as balanced as we can with our hormones to feel internal balance, and then externally to just have that swift kind of congruent atmosphere where we're like everybody else who's cycling normally, that's not having cramps or missed cycles or, you know, cysts on our ovaries or whatever it is. So in my early 20s, pregnancy was not a factor, but it was always something in the back of my head. I wanted to make sure that I had everything kind of buttoned up so that when I did want to have children, if that was something I wanted in the future, that my fertility was intact. So fast forward to my early mid 30s, and I was in a committed relationship. It was not the best, and I was juggling life as a practitioner in my very large wellness center. I had at one point 19 individuals who worked for me. I had employees, I had thousands of patients and folks, I had retail, I was on a speaking tour, I had a lot of stuff kind of going on, and I was not taking good care of my body. And the stress of basically 24/7, definitely 7 days a week business and CEO and practitioner and kind of juggling it all, and then having a really kind of intense relationship that was really needy, was really hard on my body. And that is what really kind of kicked off a whole bunch of stuff. So I want to share with you that second bout. I had a cyst that was discovered, an actual tumor. It was scary as hell. I thought I was dealing with thyroid cancer, and I had cysts on my ovaries. I had irregular cycles. I had major stress. I was down again in my weight because when I stress, I stop eating. So I go into this anorexic type of state unintentionally. It just kind of is. I'd forget to eat in a matter of 10 or 12 hours. And then I also had a hormone test done, and I don't treat myself. I actually work with she's my mentor, a doctor of Chinese medicine. We ran all my labs, and she was like, oh my God, Melissa, you are all whacked out. Your thyroid's whacked out. Your HPA, which is the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and your adrenal axis, that's like all whacked out. You're not getting all the right signaling. And so that was, I want to say, the beginning of that. So that, I think I was 33, 34. And in a span of 2 years, I made some major life changes. I closed down my clinic. I decided to focus on myself and just my core patient practice. And I also broke up with the man that I was seeing, and I decided to make some lifestyle changes. I had multiple things kind of going on. I had thyroid dysfunction. I had liver imbalance, not a fatty liver, but I had hormonal processes that were at play. I had cysts, polycystic ovarian syndrome, full blown. And I also had the beginning stages of what we then realized were endometrial fibroids and a endometrial polyp. And so I knew that if out of all of those things, if I didn't have cancer, I needed to resolve the whole thing going on in my thyroid long term. But then more importantly, I needed to resolve my uterine health. And so that was something that I set forth significantly. And so many of you who have utilized my services as a naturopath and have had hormonal imbalances, I probably have mentioned some of this to you in terms of, I totally understand what it's like when you have really heavy periods, extreme cramping, the hormonal imbalance, the kind of hangry feeling because the insulin spikes and the cortisol imbalance is all there. I was the poster woman for hormone imbalance and infertility. My doctor of Chinese medicine said, if you want to conceive at any point in the next 5 to 6 years, you need to straighten this up. And so that was what led me into really digging into my own body, but actually led me into my second master's. I actually went to school actually through our medical program at the University of South Florida, and it was partly fellowship, and then this kind of second staging of it was actually completing another master's. And it was focused on metabolic nutrition and neuroendocrine balancing. And so neuroendocrine is really what I do as a naturopath, but I focused it all on myself. But I was doing a lot of things in conjunction with electrostimulation acupuncture. I was doing coffee enemas. I was doing castor oil packs. And I can very wholeheartedly say that polycystic ovarian syndrome and uterine fibroids are not things that have to be necessarily medically treated. We don't necessarily have to have a uterine fibroid removed. We don't always have to go through the whole water-oriented uterine biopsy, which was on the schedule for me. I scheduled it and knew that I was not going to do the procedure because I was going to heal my body. I gave myself like 6 months. And the irony is that in 2013, December 2013, the doctor wanted to do a procedure, and I noticed major changes in some of my cycling habits and actually pulled the plug on the surgery. Now, fast forward to like that surgery date, literally, I think it's like 10 days after that, my ovulation cycle in December of 2013 is when we conceived Gabriel. Ah! And it literally was completely unexpected for us both. And it was really exciting for me because I had healed my body of infertility. And I really feel like I need to share the story with you viewers because I know so many of you ladies are watching out there that this can resonate with. And I have had a lot of different scenarios just like you. I've had missed cycles, long cycles, spotty cycles, non-cycles. I've had the whole thyroid thing going on. I've done all my food tests, all of the testing. But more importantly, I've actually had 2 different doctors tell me that there'd be no way in hell I'd ever get pregnant. And I never gave them that power. I never gave them otherworldly power, if you know what I mean, in terms of determining what my body's self-healing capacity and my own body's ability to balance itself. I never gave them the power to take that away. And that's my message for you today, that we, regardless of what's going on within your body, do know that your body and your cells and every organ and gland are always turning over. We're always rejuvenating. There's crazy stats, and actually Deepak Chopra's book, and I'll link it down below. He actually goes into like the stats. I've seen him speak. That man is amazing. But what he brings to us, and my message for you, is that we're always changing. Our state, be it a diagnosis or whatever, is never stagnant. There's never a stasis, like a permanent state. Now, there are diagnoses and disorders that don't always go away that we're managing, but we're constantly changing. And I really do believe in the power of the mind-body connection. I believe in the whole larger spiritual aspects of body healing. But more importantly, I do believe that your body has the capacity and is seeking balance. So please do know that if you are dealing with infertility, dealing with the surgical date for an ovarian cyst or uterine fibroids, cysts in your breast, fibroids, even thyroid imbalances, do know that it's not permanent, I promise. And if it is pressing and it's cancerous or whatever other thing you're dealing with, your body will always balance. So this is my gift to you. It's highly personal. I don't have kind of step-by-step plan. If it's something that you want me to detail more further about all those different things that I did in my early 20s and then also in my 30s, I'd be more than happy to in a much more styled, appropriate way than when I first got started on YouTube. So ladies, I hope this was helpful. I hope at least this is inspiring. And I just want to give you lots of love, lots of healing energy, and do please have faith in your body. It's self-healing. And just know that your body is always rejuvenating and it will sustain you, and if you so choose, another life. Don't forget to join my hashtag 40 of the Rainbow contest. Details in the description box below. And if you love my shirt, I don't know if you can see this. This shirt, oh my gosh, I'm going to link links to a local boutique. Brittany is the owner of Queen Bees here in Woodstock, Georgia, and she makes all this jewelry. So I've had a lot of you comment about my outfits and my jewelry, and I'm going to share the love for you. And she has a discount code for all of you. So it's Melissa, I think it's Melissa 10, gets you 10% off online orders. All right, ladies, have a great day.